The Commission proposes priorities for the call. And basically for the key action 1, so for the mobility of education staff, there aren't any priorities. The mobility of education staff should help the professional development of teachers, school leaders, other people working in school education. But for key action number 2, for the strategic partnerships, there are priorities defined. And these priorities are formally proposed by the Commission, but they are then agreed with Member States. They are based on the analysis of what are the common problems in school education nowadays in Europe and what are possible solutions to it. In May 2017, the Commission adopted a communication on school development and excellent teaching. And, surprise, surprise, you will find many of these priorities in this communication. There is the need to provide more inclusive education, better quality education for all. There is the need to support teachers, school leaders, teacher educators. There is the need to improve the acquisition of skills and competences of young people, and of course also to invest more in early childhood education and care. Going into detail on all the priorities might be a little bit difficult and too time-consuming, but I can explain maybe some aspects and some of the priorities a bit more in detail. Of course, we would like Erasmus Plus to support the acquisition of skills and competences of young people. And Erasmus Plus is a perfect program for that. Skills and competences could be all. It could be literacy, it could be numeracy, it could be language learning, it could be digital, it could be civic and social competences. And with the different projects, the program is really a good tool for supporting young people in acquiring these competences. Just to give you an example, years ago we supported a program which helped teachers and secondary education students to improve their digital competences and at the same time also learn more about other cultures. Together with their partner schools, they worked on robotics, they worked on all kinds of digital technologies, on media literacy, and they learned a lot about the culture of their partners. Another example is that Erasmus Plus would like to support schools in doing something against early school leaving and more inclusive education. And there, Erasmus Plus, for example, could help to implement lots of practices which are already tested in Europe. Maybe you know already the Toolkit for Schools, which is on the School Education Gateway, and which proposes a lot of good practice examples in reducing early school leaving and making schools more inclusive. And Erasmus Plus could help you to implement these type of practices. Priorities are basically the answer why Europe should support the Erasmus Plus program. They are defining the common need in Europe and they are defining to what Erasmus Plus is contributing. And they are at the same time very broad, because Erasmus Plus wants to support schools and teachers and young people in learning, and therefore it has to fit to their concrete situation, and the priorities give a lot of room for different ideas, different focus points. So due to the fact that they are broad, there's actually not really a possibility to miss out of the priorities. I have never ever seen a project, a good project, which would not answer to one of the priorities. But in addition, I also would like to underline that answering to a priority is not a yes or no question. It's rather a more or less question. A project might be really on one priority and answer perfectly to it. Another project might be very good and answer to several priorities to a certain extent. So there's a lot of variety in that. I recommend just read the priorities, read them carefully, maybe read also the communication on school development and excellent teaching. This communication is available in all European languages, and you will get there lots of background information which inform you why some priorities are set. It might also inspire your project, because it might help you to define better the scope of your project, to get also some ideas on how to improve it.